Dear students, let us come to the second class of our social science. First of all, yesterday I had given some homeworks. I mean several questions. The first question is, what is source? You already wrote in your homework book. What is source? If the things used by human beings in the past, if have been remained, it is called source. Sources in the form of coins, pictures, temples, buildings, etc. These are all considered as the source. Second question is, why did historians are compared to advocates? The reason is that advocates collects various information and sources, evidences, proofs, evidence and proofs, sources, and study it critically. Study it critically. Here critically means scientifically about their case. In the same way, historians also collects facts. They make critical analysis and lastly come to the conclusion. Therefore, historians are called an advocate. Yes, now the next thing is the materials needed. The materials needed for the source is called primary source. The materials needed for the writing of history. To write history, sources are very important. Hence, the materials needed for the writing of history are the primary sources. They are called primary sources. What is primary sources? The materials needed to write history is called primary sources. These primary sources are further classified into two types. First one is literary source. Literary source, and second category archaeological sources. Primary sources are further divided into literary source and archaeological sources. Now, these literary sources are further divided into written literature and oral literature. Lit means literature, understand? Literary sources further divided into written literature and oral literature. Now, the next heading is written literature. Written. What is written means? In the form of writing or pictures, that is written. Now, written literatures is the main source of literary sources. Literary in Kannada, what you say, Sahitya, literature. This literary sources, written literature is the main source of Main source of written literature. What is the importance of this written literature? The importance of this written literature is written literature shows the contemporary social life of a human being. Contemporary means that belonged to the same time. That belonged to the same time. Contemporary social life of a human being of the past, not present. We get information about past human beings social life or details about social life of the past human beings. That is the importance of written literature. Then it also tells, written literature, it focused its attention to the social life of a human being of the past. It also tells what? His life pattern, his customs, traditions, food habits, etc. and etc. Thus, written literature provides different types of information related to history. It is very easy to the historians to write history by using all these literatures. How it is easy? Because it is in the written form. Therefore, it is very easy to the historians to write history. In this written literature, there are two types: native literature and foreign literature. Written literature further divided into written literature, further divided into native literature and foreign literature. Therefore, these literatures are called the primary source of information to the historians. Now, the next question is, what is native literature? Native literature means these literatures are produced or prepared or written inside our country, India itself. It was written in India itself. Therefore, it is called native literature. Therefore, native literatures are literatures created by Indians. Who created? Created by Indians in local languages. Whether it is Kashmiri language, Gujarati, Marathi, Tamil, Hindi, different languages. Poets were also there in each and every language. If the literature is helpful to historians, it is called as native literature. In Karnataka, Kannada is the native language, and in Kannada there are so many books are there related to the history. That is also native literature written by Kannadigas. Therefore, what is native literature? Native literatures are literatures created by Indians in their local languages. It is called native literatures. For example, which are the works are considered as the native literature? So listen here. First one is Kautilya's Arthashastra. Arthashastra means economics. Kautilya's Arthashastra. It describes the various aspects of an empire and its financial matters of the past also, and it is helpful now also. In the present time, we follow some information from Kautilya's Arthashastra. Therefore, it is one of the native literature. Example for native literature, Kautilya's Arthashastra. Another one, King Hala. He belonged to which dynasty? King Hala belonged to Shatavahana dynasty. He wrote a famous book, Gatha Saptasati, Arthashastra of Kautilya. Arthashastra of Kautilya. Then King Hala wrote Gatha Saptasati. Gatha Saptasati. Who wrote? Hala, Shatavahana king. Next, Vishakadatta wrote Mudra Rakshasa. Vishakadatta, he wrote Mudra Rakshasa of Vishakadatta. Kautilya Arthashastra, Hala's Gatha Saptasati, and Vishakadatta's Mudra Rakshasa. Kallana's Rajatarangini. K. Who is K? K means Kallana. He wrote his famous book Rajatarangini. Rajatarangini. Written by whom? Rajatarangini, written by Kallana. Then Banabhatta, he wrote Harsha Charita. Harshavardhana, Harsha Charita. Who wrote Harsha Charita? Banabhatta. He wrote Harsha Charita. Then Chand Bardai's Prithvi Raja Raso. Chand Bardai. He was in Mughal court and also in Rajaput's court, where he wrote Prithvi Raja Raso. Then Pampa's Vikramarjuna Vijaya. Pampa, a great Kannada poet, he wrote Vikramarjuna Vijaya. He compared his emperor Harikesari to Arjuna. Vikramarjuna Vijaya. Then Sangam literature. Sangam. What is Sangam literature means? Do you know anything about Sangam literature? Sangam literature is a literature of Tamil Nadu. During that period, literatures were flourished in Tamil Nadu. That age or that period is called Sangam age or Sangam literature, where many works or Tamil works were created by Tamilians. Therefore, it is called Sangam age. These works portrays means shows, depict the contemporary social, religious, economic spiritual life of that age. All these sources or all these native literatures shows or it shows light on social life, political life, moral life, spiritual life and religious life also. Therefore, if we read all these, we can get knowledge of these fields of the past. Therefore, finally, native literatures are one of the main sources of history. It was created by Indians in their native languages. That is about native literature. Another one is foreign literature. Foreign means outside India, not inside India. Inside India, native literature. Foreign means outside India. Many foreigners, you might have heard about Huyen Tsang, Abdul Razak, Barbosa. They came to India as ambassadors or for the purpose of travel or to visit some historical places. Some came as a pilgrimage. What is pilgrimage means? They come to here to visit holy places. Yatrarthi. Thus, they came here as an ambassador, traveler, or as a businessman. For example, English, French, Dutch, etc. They came India for the purpose of business, but they studied all social life of Indians, all aspects of Indians' life, their food habits, their dress patterns, their monuments, potteries, and studied all these things, and they wrote in their own languages. What did they write? They wrote Indian history. But one thing is that they wrote our Indian history in their own languages, therefore certain factors are now uncertain. It is not true. It is not true, means it is false. Because of misunderstanding, they wrote certain illegal or not reliable, means unreliable factors. But majority of the factors are related to Indian history. Thus, both foreign and native literatures, it tells the historical life of Indians. Here, who came India and what are their main works? For example, the works are considered as a foreign literature. Indica. Who wrote Indica? Megasthenes. Megasthenes wrote Indica, where he mentioned the social aspect of contemporary social aspects of Indians. Then Fahian's Go Ko Ki, Huyen Tsang's Siyu Ki, Ptolemy's Geography. Who wrote geography? Ptolemy's Geography. Feristas, Tariq E. Ferista. Babar wrote Taz E. Babri, and others are the important sources. Apart from these, there are many other writings that serve as the sources. Thus, the works of Fahian, works of Huyen Tsang, works of Ferista, works of Barbosa, it all shows about the Indian social life of that period. In that period they visited India for different purposes. Here in this foreign literature we can get only depiction of matters, Indian matters. What is a depiction of matters means? Depiction of contemporary life. A small view, it is not in elaborate. Native literature, it describes India's conditions, social life, etc. elaborately. But foreign literature, it is only depiction, a short view, short information. It is called depiction. It shows short view, short explanation about our Indian history. Why? Because Indians or some historians were failed to understand the foreign language. Therefore, this foreign literature shows only depiction or a small part of our Indian history. But they used what? Exaggeration. While telling the status, condition of India or Indians, they used certain terms. How? Through exaggeration. What is exaggeration means? Telling something terribly. ಭಯಂಕರವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದು. They glorifies Indian culture. They gave some clean touch up to Indian culture. Then hyperbole, telling more excitingly. It is called hyperbole. Telling more excitingly. These foreigners came here and excitingly they explained the condition of India and loyalty to their master. They are loyal to their master. Why? All these foreign ambassadors came India by getting the financial assistance of their emperor, by getting some loans or financial help from their emperors. Therefore, those emperors, they praised their emperors. They praised their emperors. Therefore, it is their main duty of these travelers. What? Exaggeration, hyperbole, and showing loyalty to their lord, king, emperor. To one's master are apparent in native literature. Native literature, it is very easily seen. Apparent means easily seen. In native literature, we can understand all the factors, information related to Indian life, whether it is a prehistoric period or historic period. In native literature, we can get the clear idea of history, but in foreign literature, we can't get clear picture of Indian history. This is one of the drawbacks of foreign literature. What is the drawback of foreign literature? It doesn't give clear picture of our history because of lack of knowledge about foreign language. Historians have the challenge of writing history keeping in mind all these limitations. Thus, this is the limitations of historians. What is the limitation? If the native literature, they can understand easily and write it, explain it as it is. But here it is impossible. They can't understand all the factors of all the sentence words of foreign literature. The next is, oral literature. Yes, now the summary of today's class are, first of all we explained the homeworks or answered what had I given yesterday. Only 2 or 3 questions we answered it now, and then sources, written literature, native, it is further divided into native and foreign literatures, and what are the importance of native and foreign literatures. Then also examples for native literatures and also foreign literatures. Students, today, yes, we finished the class. Before finishing, I will give only 2 questions to you as homework. Please take down. Yes, first one is, what do you mean by native literature? What do you mean by native literature? Second one, write a short note on foreign literature. Write a short note on foreign literature. Next, give some of the examples. Give some of the examples for native literature. Native literature. Yes, these are questions. While coming tomorrow, you have to answer it. Yes, okay. Sai Ram.